Welcome back. In this video, we're going to go over starter, shingle overlay, and nailing pattern. So stick around. So when it comes to starter, okay, there's two things you want to inspect or look out for. One of them is overhang, and the other one is where it's fastened. When it comes to overhang, you want to make sure that measuring from the edge here of your drip edge, a 1/4 inch to 3/4 of overhang, that is what's recommended. And when it comes to fastening, it is recommended that it's fastened more towards the bottom here, towards the edge here of the drip edge. Here we have an example of the nails being installed a little bit too high, and what this creates is this piece just tends to flop. So if there's a heavy wind, this is going to be moving just like so. There's nothing that holds this down, right? Compared to this here. Okay, so now this, if you look closely here, you can see that there's some adhesive at the very edge here, okay? And if we look at our shingle, so this is the back of our shingle here. This strip of adhesive is gonna adhere to this, okay? So eventually, it's gonna be something like this. And obviously, as you can see, since the nails are a little bit closer to the edge here, it's more difficult for this to lift. Whereas this shingle here, laid against this, I mean, you can definitely tell the difference. So very important where it's fastened, and obviously your overhang as well. So this is a simple overlay, obviously something that you would see on the roof, right? Very similar. Here we have our starter and then 3 shingles stacked on top of each other. Let's start with our seam here. I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the video there, but the seam on our starter and the seam on our shingles, they can't match. So there has to be a gap in between that, okay? Kind of like the panel, like the shingles themselves. So if you see here, and if you measure from here to here, our stair step is going to be 10 inches exactly. Okay, it's recommended anywhere from 8 to 10. Obviously, 8 inches being the minimum, 10 inches being ideal. And the reason for that is, if you ever look at the manual here for this particular shingle, what you're going to find is that on their 4th course, it's going to be obviously a piece of 10 inches, and then in our 5th course, we would start with the full shingle once again. So if you do it this way, if you make your stair step of 10 inches, obviously, that would be 4 even cuts throughout our shingle, okay? When it comes to nailing pattern, okay? As long as you install your nails in between the armor zone here, you're okay, which is a very generous distance if you ask me. So our first nail is going to be here towards the edge, and then I skip about 15, 16 inches before I install my next nail, and then I install 5 more. So I install 6 nails total. I know that some manuals are going to tell you that you can get away with 4. Personally, I tend to stick around with 6, all right? But that's just me. So I put my first nail there, about 16, 17 inch mark. I put another one, and I evenly put 5 more. Okay, and the reason why I do that is that if you look on the shingle underneath, our next nail is going to be away from the seam here, okay? So you can't be closer than 2 inches to this seam. If for some reason there's a nail that's close to the seam, about 1 inch or so, because we obviously can't have any nails right here on the seams. It's a big no-no. But if it's an inch or so, it's recommended on the manual that you put some roofing cement. If it's 2 inches or further away, then you don't really need to do anything. So just something to look out for. But yeah, this is our stair step.